Head of the opposition. 8 laps gone, Ludwig leading from Maas and Baldy, and the peril now facing the leading drivers. They were already up among the slower back markers. Now in sports car racing in previous years, the quick C1 drivers have been critical of the unpredictable behaviour of the C2 men. Now without suggesting that's the cause of what happens next, watch the pink Tiger of Steve Hines and Jochen Mass's Mercedes closing rapidly behind. A horrendous accident in the middle of the 110-mile-an-hour Clark curve. The rest of the field threads its way through. Jelinski goes past in the Just Porsche. First thought, though, turns to the drivers. First, Steve Hines climbs out of the Tiger, and then, miraculously, Jochen Mass emerges unhurt from the totally destroyed Mercedes. Analysis of what happened shows Hines making room for the leader Ludwig, loses his car on the loose stuff on the outside of the bend and collects Jochen Mass in violent fashion. The leading Mercedes completely wrecked, spewing fuel all over the track.
With one car already out of the race, RLR were dealt another blow when lack of brakes put Tiffany Dell into the clearways fencing along with Weaver's car. And John Nielsen also suffered brake failure. His was at Hawthorns and was fairly heavy. So Jaguar were now minus one of the old cars as well as minus one XJR11. Nielsen reckoned this was the heaviest impact he'd ever had in a Jaguar, the heaviest impact of his career. Fortunately, he was unhurt.
Harry Toivonen having pulled off on the right-hand side of the car, and there's a lot of smoke coming through on that part of the circuit. There's a lot of smoke coming from somewhere, and there's a fire or something down there. I'm not quite sure whether that isn't actually on part of the racing circuit. It's on an escape road after the right-hander, and the smoke is moving across onto the circuit. There we see the Cougar Porsche of Denny Moran and Ben Adtuna, but the fire seems to be elsewhere. It's on the exit of an escape road. There is a car in there, but the marshal's right on the scene and putting the fire out. Meanwhile, the race is continuing, but there is the debris of a car there. We keep seeing this shot of the Cougar. In fact, behind it we see the Hydro Aluminium Brunn Porsche. Now that car was the Harold Heisman driven car, and in fact, yes, there's debris on the. In fact, there was a 3-car incident, and this is the 3rd car which we're seeing here, which is almost completely unidentifiable, being covered with foam. Covered with the fire extinguishing foam. Very difficult to see which car that is, but we will almost certainly have another pace car out on the circuit.